For ACUsports.com, I'm Grant Boone. As the ACU men's basketball team knocks off Campbell at home, 83-68, we've got the senior forward Hayden Farquhar and the junior guard Payten Ricks. Hayden, let's begin with you. In the first half, you pressured a team that doesn't turn the ball over very much into a whole boatload of turnovers. How'd you do it?
It was a team effort. I mean, Coach said all week that it was going to be an effort game and an energy game, and that's what we brought. We were locked into the scout, and whatever they did, we were there, and we rotated off of our players to help out a teammate, and we were just there, and everything worked out as for a team.
And the plan was to get Farquhar loose on the fast break, right, Payton?
That was definitely the plan.
3 fast breaks for Farquhar. He gets 6 points. You had 7 steals tonight, and that's a team with some veteran guards, including Chris Clemens. Take us through as the game just evolved. It seemed like that Campbell began to press a little bit as you pressured the ball.
Yeah, I think pressure all the way around kind of I don't think they've seen it all year. And I think we were locked into the scout, like Fark said, and everybody rotated, and we made the right rotations and we got the steals. So I think that was the biggest part of it.
Hayden, you go tonight without B.J. Maxwell, who was unable to play because of an injury. You get a start from Trey Lennox. How about Trey? 11 points in the second half, perfect at the free throw line. Is he an example of what you were saying about the team effort?
Yes, sir, he is. I mean, he came in. He was locked in from the get-go. I mean, he came in. He was solid on defense, and he just did his role on offense. I mean, that worked out for everybody. I mean, he was pressuring the ball, and then on offense it just came to him. He was passing inside, and he was driving, getting the layup, and just he was perfect off the – I mean, like, he comes off the bench usually, but tonight he was locked in and ready to go.
Payton, this was a team that had been to the West Coast 2 weekends in a row, and you get back late on Sunday night, 2 Sunday nights in a row. But the message that I heard from your coaching staff earlier today was no excuses, and it didn't seem like your team played with that mentality.
Exactly. We can't make excuses at this level. We're grown men. We're a D1 team. There's no reason to make excuses. We got to come to play every night, and they prepare us very well, so there's no excuses at all.
All right, well, let's talk to your head coach here, Joe Golding, who's looking at a stat sheet that is going to have a lot of nice numbers on it, Coach, and led by 83-68. You beat a quality basketball team tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I was excited by the way we played. I thought it was a toughness game. I said that to them the last 48 hours, and they had a whole week to prepare for us. We had a quick turnaround against a really well-coached team, a team that we have a ton of respect for, and a really good program that's going to win a lot of games this year. They already have against a really tough schedule. They came in here at 4-4. So, I was proud of our guys. I told them it was going to be a toughness gut check type game. We fought through some adversity. Obviously, BJ not being able to play tonight. I thought Trey stepped up, did great things. Farquhar changed the game with his motor in the first half. Joe Pleasant was really, really good in the first half. There was just guys that stepped up. Obviously, Ricks and take away his shots. Defensively, he's been one of our better defenders. There's no question since we put in the pressure. And I thought tonight he stepped up and made it hard on Clemens, and then also was able to force some turnovers and get some easy baskets.
Ricks had 7 steals and then, of course, 18 points. And what does it say about your team to bounce back from your first loss of the season? I heard you say something to the effect of, we want to be the kind of team that can call itself great, and you don't lose back-to-back games if you want to be that kind of a team.
Yeah, I think great teams find a way. I mean, you're going to get beat every once in a while. It's college basketball. It happens. And so how do you bounce back? I think great teams don't lose 2 games in a row. How do you find a way to when you lose a game, you ought to be on edge, and you ought to be, hey, that's not going to happen again. And so we were fortunate to play our second game back here at home in front of our crowd. So I think that helped. But I was proud of the mentality our guys brought, and that's led by our seniors. Jaron, Farquhar, Jay Frank, and Hal. Those guys do a great job in the locker room. And then you got Ricks and Trey, probably missing somebody else, but the juniors that have been in this program, BJ, that have been in this program a long time. So just the maturity in there. Tonight I had to get on them a little bit, and try to push some buttons to get them going. I just thought we were a little flat at the start, but I think we really changed the game at the end. One of the biggest things, we went in there at halftime, we had we forced 15 turnovers, which is a great number, but you're only up 8.
Correct.
And we were like, oh my gosh, we
let them off the hook a little.
We let them off the hook, but we were able to really come out the first 4 minutes. I thought, 8-0 starting, really jumped on them right there, and I thought that was the difference in the game.
Trey Lennox steps in for B.J. Maxwell, and he's indicative of what we were talking about earlier, just with everyone kind of doing their own role. Tonight he did a couple of things that you don't usually ask of him, and that's score. He made a 3. Here's a moment that I thought was kind of sneaky. He made a 3, and a couple of possessions later, he's open for a 3 in the corner right in front of your bench. He doesn't take it and drives to the basket. Now, he didn't score. But I thought that was some discipline maybe
He
on your
missed
team.
He missed the layup, but I told him before the game, just keep doing what you're doing. He's been playing 12 to 15 minutes a game for us. He's found a role we really like. He's got a high basketball IQ. He knows every position on the floor. He gets the ball inside for us, or he makes the right reads off our two-game stuff. And then defensively, he's big, strong guard that can rebound the basketball and can get after it defensively with a motor and can create some turnovers. So, I was proud of him. Obviously he made his free throws down the stretch. He made that three, and then he shot fakes twice, and then there was a back cut. He also missed that layup, but he back cut and got the ball to the rim, and that's playing to his strengths and what he's really, really good at. And so I was proud of him. Trey works. Trey's in the gym. He's been working out. All of our guys that maybe not are getting the minutes that they want right now, those guys are working, and they got to continue to work because it's a long year. There's a lot of adversity, injuries, different things happen, and you have to have guys that step up and play. And Trey's a great example of not got stepped up and played the game the right way.
There have been a couple of games this year, in the last couple of years, when the free throw attempt discrepancy has been high with your team and your opponent. Tonight, I think you go to the line, 26 times, something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 26, and they went 20. That's better. I've been frustrated with that here of lately, that we haven't got to the free throw line. We got there a lot early, and we haven't gotten there as much late. A little bit is, some of our posts are scoring quick, when we're throwing over the top. But we also got to be able to throw the ball in there more, because just throwing it in there, it's a point of emphasis this year with refs is to clean up the post play. So we got to continue to throw the ball in there. We're missing some post reads. A lot of that has to do with not being able to practice. We haven't been able to practice. We've been traveling so much and playing so many games. So that's where I just told our team I'm so excited. Take the Tech game away that we have to travel for 2.5 hours, but we're home until we have to go to SEMO. And so
why is that so important?
We just get back to work and get back to practice and can clean up some things. That you play so many games and you can't practice back to back that
you're always looking at the next opponent, right?
Yeah, and you're trying to turn the page and move, and you got to worry about yourself. There's some things that we've got to clean up, and we got to get back to doing some little things the right way, but and clean some things up. They're not horrible, but we got to go back and clean some things up that we were doing really well early, and there's some things we're doing now that we need to continue to do. But practice is so important. I think this time of the year we're starting to find an identity with our team. I think everybody finds an identity, you hope, before you start conference play, and we're starting to kind of figure that out a little bit, and I think that's a good thing. I think we're starting to get a feel for our team, but we got to get back to practice. We got to get back to work and get better.
8-1, 6 wins against Division I teams with 4 non-cons to go.
Yeah, we've come a long ways, but we also have to just continue to work, and trust the process. This team deserves this, and this team's ready for this. That they're good enough to win games, and they believe they can win games. But nothing we're doing right now is going to help us in February and March. We just have to continue to get better, stay humble, stay hungry, trust the process, and get better. And not worry about a record, and just try to go 1-0 against Shriner. And the thing that I'm comfortable with that is we have some seniors in that locker room. They remember, they understand last year and some things that happened, and late in February and March. And so I think they're hungry, and they know when you don't stay hungry and we get complacent, that this thing can turn on you in a hurry in college basketball. We still have a brutal schedule left before Christmas, and then conference play. Our league all 18 games are tough. They're all fights. So we've got a long ways to go, but I'm awfully proud of them. 8-1's a lot better. 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know if we won 8 games in a year. So it's a credit to these players. And their development in our program with our staff, and then them wanting to stay here with some retention and fight through it, and they deserve this.
ACU wins tonight with no B.J. Maxwell, who is out injured. Jalen Franklin fouled out with only 17 minutes, and yet the Wildcats win by 15 over a solid Campbell team from the Big South Conference. The Wildcats are now 8-1. Set your alarms. 10:30 a.m. tip-off against Shriner on Saturday morning. It's part of the Christmas Slam. Hope to see you at Moody Coliseum.